along the way. Almost every town, almost every city, every state, we met people with Huntington's disease, and they were happy that we were there. When I ended up in New York, the end of my walk, we went to the Cardinal Terence Cook. Come on, help me out, Loretta. Yeah, the Cardinal Terence Cook Memorial Center has one of the largest and most efficient Huntington's disease centers in the world. And they met me there. They congratulated me for walking to New York and gave me a plaque. Had one shoe on the plaque, by the way. And they said I could have the other shoe if I walked back. But they took me on a tour of those people who had Huntington's disease. And it'd break your heart to see those poor people writhing and thrashing around and not able to help themselves. And you look into their eyes, you wonder if they're in there. And they're in pain 24/7. They can't stop. That's what they got to look forward to. Some of them weren't as bad as others, but it would tear my heart out. And one of the finest times I had at that hospital, they had some of the ones who were not as badly affected with the disease. They were around the table, and the nurse told them that they could ask me questions when I got there. And they were ready for the questions. And they'd ask the usual questions, how many shoes I wore out, and how long it took me to walk, and whether I slept at night, and things like that. And, oh, yes, they asked me my age. And I told them. I'm 72, by the way. I am, aren't I? Yeah. Janet was shaking her head. But when I was through with them, I sang them a song. And then I went around with each one to give them a hug and to shake their hands. And they were really grateful that I was doing this walk for them. You know, it seemed like, to me, I wonder sometimes, I'm walking out there one step in front of the other and wondering, why in the world am I doing this? One time I came close to this town in eastern Washington. I was on a walk, and I thought, well, when I get to St. John, I'm going to quit because I haven't done anything. There was no awareness. And when I got to St. John, I got a call from the chapter president here in Seattle. She said, you know, we received the most wonderful note today in the mail about you. This lady said that you changed her life. And I thought, wow, what did I do to change someone's life? And she went on to say that I had my tires replaced at Les Schwab's. And I saw her sitting outside the tire place waiting for her tires to be put on. And I handed her a flyer and told her that I was walking. At this time, it was for Alzheimer's. And then I went back in to pay for my tires. And when I come out, she said, I believe God sent you my way today. And I went over, and she had a really sad story to tell me. And I prayed with her and encouraged her. And then I went on my way. And then I forgot all about it. And here I'm ready to give up on my walk, and I get this letter saying, I changed your life. That would have been enough to walk around the world for. You know, it's giving people hope is what we're about. That's what the greatest man who ever lived did. He came to give us hope. But he could go a little further than I could. He gave us hope by raising from the dead and knowing that we can meet him someday. But I'd like to follow his rules. We should be just like he was. We should be moved with compassion when we see people who are having a hard time, having physical problems, mental, social, domestic. If you see people down, ask God what you can do to help them. Sometimes the best thing to do is just pray for them. But other times, God might want to put feet to your prayers. Literally. But that's up to you. But I know one thing, that the happiest person in the world, the person with the most peace in his heart, is the person that helps others and thinks of others. And the most miserable person in the world is the one who thinks only of himself. So you think of this. And think of others. And show the love of Christ in your heart. Jack's looking at his watch. They used to put clocks at the back of church so people could turn and look. But my little granddaughter sang this song to you. I think she's 15 or 16. 16, oh yeah, she's got her driver's permit, so watch out. She drove down here. And I used to sing to her. Hold her on my lap. When I was walking across the country, I'd sing the same song I sang to her. And good thing you people didn't bring a baby here with you tonight, or you'd have me singing. But God has blessed us. And I left my speech in my pocket because it was too long. And I'm making things kind of boring for you. But I'm going to sing to you the theme of my song, the theme of my life. And I want you to make it yours. And you already know what it is. You can sing it with me. I've sung it so many times. I'm trying to think of it. Okay. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can just keep somebody from going wrong, then my living will not be in vain. Then my living will not be in vain. Oh no, my living will not be in vain. If I can just help somebody as I pass along, then my living will not be in vain. I want to ask, is Carol or Wendy here tonight? Oh, would you come up? I met Carol and Wendy when I was in Culbertson, Montana. They called my wife and they said, we just read in the Minot paper about your husband coming to Minot, Williston, North Dakota. And they said, where are you? I said, well, we're in Culbertson. They said, well, we're on our way. This young lady here, she has the cutest leg, I tell you. She's walking around the perimeter of the United States. And so far she's at 6,053 miles. Yeah, we know how support givers are. But she stopped by just to say hi to us. But when she came to Culbertson, she and my wife, Wendy, the support driver, got with my wife, the support driver, and they figured out where they could stop and get free lodging, where we've already been, because we were crossing each other's paths, one going east and one going west. And Carol is an ordained minister, and she has a speaking engagement tomorrow down in Hoquiam. But would you like to say a word?
This is your night, and I'm just so happy to be here. I'm just so touched by everything I've heard here tonight, Donald, and we're just so blessed to have met the two of you. You know, my walk is a little walk for Jesus every day. I'm walking the perimeter of the United States and praying for our country, and I plant a cross in the ground every mile. And God carries me along the way, and I'm just so blessed to meet angels like Loretta and Donald along my way. So God bless you, Donald.
Thank you, Carol. And God bless you, Wendy. They're quite an inspiration. Are we through, Jack? Yes.